For involuntary manslaughter, the woman was sentenced to exactly 1 minute. After putting on the punishment device, law enforcement officers squeezed eye drops into the criminal's eyes, causing her to immediately collapse and enter a virtual prison. The woman slowly stood up to find herself in a small dark cell. There were no exits here, and the prisoner's only companion was an electronic screen. She would have to wait until day 365 to be released, while only 1 minute would pass in the real world. To help the brain adapt to the time concept, the prison provided daily food rations. As long as one maintained real-world living habits, the brain's functions wouldn't malfunction. To pass time, besides meditation, one could also write. However, this prison had no other inmates, not even guards to deliver meals. Normal people simply couldn't endure such solitary torture. Every night at 8 p.m., the electronic screen would automatically shut off, not turning back on until the next morning. The diary that had been destroyed yesterday was restored to its original state. The daily food rations also refreshed. Entering her second day of imprisonment, she was bored out of her mind, even forgetting her own existence. She could only use all her strength to grab the sharp steel plates. The intense pain was the only thing that gave her some sense of relief. As days passed, she finally found a way to kill time. As the project's developer, her original intention was to use it to treat her brother, who was in a vegetative state. But the company, seeking profit, had modified her code, turning years of hard work into a virtual prison. Due to the program's side effects that caused user deaths, Annie became the prison's first inmate. She began examining the code in prison, hoping to find the cause of the side effects. With this goal, time flew by quickly, and soon it was the final day. She counted on her fingers, waiting for her sentence to end, waiting until lights out time. But unexpectedly, the prison door didn't appear. Instead, the time on the electronic screen suddenly reset. Her sentence had returned to day 1. What was going on? She began cursing the company's botched modifications to the project. They had even forgotten to write the exit code for the prison. Annie couldn't stand to stay another second. She frantically destroyed every inch of the prison, but it was futile. The program showed no response. She finally despaired, accepting her fate of being trapped here forever. But unexpectedly, wind suddenly blew from the food storage cabinet in what was supposed to be a sealed cell. She walked over to investigate carefully and actually found a gap. With a little force, she easily opened the steel plate. Crawling through the opening, she discovered this was actually an abandoned warehouse. She no longer knew how to react or where exactly she was. Countless questions swirled in her mind. She ran desperately to escape and discovered another warehouse. Pulling the light switch, she found mountains of food piled high. Without time to think, she opened the warehouse door and found countless surveillance devices. Guards outside the window spotted the prison break. She grabbed a jacket and fled immediately. The guard's vehicle was parked by the roadside. She quickly started the ignition and floored the accelerator, finally escaping this desolate wilderness. As Annie calmed down and reflected on everything, she finally understood. This was the company's conspiracy. Because she had consistently opposed the prison project, the company hadn't been able to attract investor interest. The executives used this method to remove her from the picture. Now, with a year past, the prison project had firmly taken root. So Annie prepared to expose the company's unspeakable secrets.